Good evening. It's Monday, February 10, 2020 here in Cebu City. I'm Cherry Ann Lim, and here's all you need to know in NewsBits tonight. Persons caught making false entries in their health declaration cards, and those spreading false information about the 2019 novel coronavirus will now be penalized. Here's Chari Coronel for the details.
The Cebu Provincial Board on Monday afternoon has approved the proposed ordinance creating a provincial task force to help prevent the entry and spread of the 2019 novel coronavirus acute respiratory disease. The approved draft legislation also adopts the memorandum issued by Governor Gwendolyn Garcia, which provides guidelines for local government units across the province on how to enforce home quarantine for Cebuanos arriving from countries with confirmed cases of novel coronavirus. Also under the ordinance, the non-disclosure of pertinent facts in the health declaration card and the spread of fake news and false information on social media in relation to the novel coronavirus shall be prohibited and subject to penalties. Violators will have to pay a fine of 5,000 pesos or imprisonment not exceeding 1 year or both at the discretion of the court. Meanwhile, violating local government officials and employees will be meted with administrative disciplinary action. Private complainants may tap the provincial legal office for the proper filing of the case. Chari Coronel, NewsBits Tonight.
Heavy rains brought by the northeast monsoon or amihan caused flooding, resulting in heavy traffic in Mandaue and Lapu-Lapu cities this morning. The State Weather Bureau says the occasional rains in Cebu will last until the end of February. Here's Romain Rivera for the details.
Heavy traffic was experienced in the cities of Lapu-Lapu and Mandaue due to flooding after a heavy downpour earlier this morning. Lapu-Lapu City Traffic Management System Chief Mario Napules said the flooding lasted for 3 hours, adding that they had a hard time controlling the traffic at the Mactan-Mandaue and Marcelo Fernan Bridge. In Mandaue City, the Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office has reported heavy flow of traffic in AC Cortez Avenue and Barangay Tipolo due to flooding. The Disaster Office is now monitoring other flood-prone areas in Mandaue after Butuanon River raises its alert level from yellow to orange level. The Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration said the cold weather and the occasional rains are brought by the northeast monsoon, locally known as amihan. It will continue to affect entire Cebu until the end of February. However, Pag-asa Visayas Chief Alki Blat said Visayas will experience better weather conditions tomorrow. Romain Rivera, NewsBits Tonight.
The Office of the Solicitor General has filed before the Supreme Court a quo warranto petition seeking to revoke the legislative franchise of television network ABSCBN. Here's Chari Coronel for the details.
ABSCBN Corporation on Monday insisted the company did not violate the constitutional restriction on foreign ownership of mass media. This after the Office of the Solicitor General filed before the Supreme Court a quo warranto petition seeking to revoke the legislative franchise of the television network. Solicitor General Jose Calida said the network abused the privilege granted by the state when it launched and operated a pay-per-view channel in ABS-CBN TV Plus and KBO channel without prior approval or permit from the National Telecommunication Commission. Calide likened the network's violation to that of Rappler when it supposedly issued Philippine deposit receipts through ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation to foreigners, violating the constitutional restriction on foreign ownership of mass media. In a statement, ABS-CBN Corporation said the filing of the quo warranto case is ill-timed and appears to be an effort to shut down the network. It added the network complied with all pertinent laws governing its franchise and has secured all necessary government and regulatory approval for its business operation. ABS-CBN Holdings deposit receipts were evaluated and approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Philippine Stock Exchange prior to its public offering. Under Section 11, Article 16 of the Philippine Constitution, the ownership and management of mass media must only be owned by citizens of the Philippines. The network's franchise is expected to expire on March 30, 2020. Congress has until March 11 before adjourning to discuss the franchise renewal. Chari Coronel, NewsBits Tonight.
For the latest in sports, here's Kenneth Torres.
Trae Young stepped up his game to help Atlanta Hawks beat the New York Knicks in a double overtime match, 140-135 on Monday. The Knicks had 8-point lead in the first overtime period, but it failed to secure the win, and they head into the second overtime. Young hit 2 free throws on consecutive possessions to give the Hawks the lead early in the second overtime. Hawks called timeout at the 13-second mark, and Young followed it up with 2 more free throws to increase the team's lead to 5 points. Young had 48 points and 13 assists, while John Collins added 32 points and 16 rebounds for the Hawks. Julius Randle finished with 35 points, 18 rebounds, and Reggie Bullock tallied 21 points for the Knicks, which had its 4-game winning streak snapped. The Hawks are now set to face Orlando Magic on February 11, while Knicks will take a showdown against Washington Wizards on February 13. Kenneth Torres, NewsBits Tonight.
Here's the latest in entertainment news with Romain Rivera.
Parasite made history after it became the first non-English language film to win Best Picture in the 92-year history of the Academy Awards. Parasite is a dark South Korean satire directed by Bong Joon-ho. The movie dominated the 92nd Oscars on Sunday night, along with the awards for Best Director, Best International Film, and Best Screenplay. Meanwhile, the acting Oscars went as expected. Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for playing a failing clown who finds fame through violence in the dark comic book tale entitled Joker. Renee Zellweger was named Best Actress for her performance in a leading role for Judy. Romain Rivera, NewsBits Tonight.
To get the latest, visit www.sunstar.com.ph. Follow us on our YouTube channel and official social media accounts on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Sherry Ann Lim. Good evening.